On this week's edition of The Left Bench TV, federal allegations involving Maryland basketball.
A look at Maryland women's basketball title hopes.
And the Left Bench has an exclusive look at one senior on the softball team who has taken her talents across the globe.
Former Maryland athlete mentioned in an FBI investigation. Welcome to this edition of the Left Bench TV. I'm Rachel Hirschheimer.
And I'm Brendan Hartlove. Yahoo Sports reported Friday that five-star recruit Diamond Stone, who played one season with Maryland in 2016 before declaring for the NBA draft, allegedly received improper payments of more than $14,000 from sports agent Andy Miller. Following Maryland's game on Saturday, head coach Mark Turgeon addressed these allegations.
Disappointed that a former player was acknowledged in this report. I've always prided myself in doing things the right way. I've done that my whole career. I have absolutely zero relationship with that agent or that agency. Wouldn't know him if he walked in the room today. And we'll cooperate any way we can with the investigation.
According to Yahoo's report, the documents released reveal an alleged underground recruiting operation that could lead to NCAA sanctions for at least 20 Division I basketball programs and more than 25 players. Turgeon says the investigation is currently internal and the university has not been contacted by the FBI. The Left Bench will bring you any updates that come with this story.
Maryland welcomed then 17th ranked Michigan into the Xfinity Center on Saturday. And while Turgeon said after the game that the Yahoo report wasn't a distraction, it was a long game for the Terps. Alex Flum was there and has more. Alex?
Yeah, Rachel, last regular season game of the year for Maryland. A tough 85-61 loss to Michigan on Senior Day. Not the way they want to send their players off.
Senior Day against Michigan, Super Bowl champion Terp Torrey Smith and this cute little puppy. What could go wrong? Turns out a lot. In the first half alone, the Wolverines sank 11 of 19 three-pointers. Maryland made just 10 field goals. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman hit 6 of those triples. Abdur-Rahman finished the game with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Team highs in all 3 categories.
He got hot. Like I said, it seemed like he got a lot of, especially him, he got a lot of wide open shots in the first half, and he's a senior, and you expect him to knock those down. He's been making big shots throughout his career.
Just 4 Terps scored in the first half, and at the break, they were down by 30, 54-24. Anthony Cowan led the Terps with 17 points, but aside from walk-on Reese Mona getting on the board in the second half, there wasn't much for Terps fans to cheer about. Maryland falls 85-61.
We couldn't get stops, then couldn't score. It almost felt like everything was going great for them and nothing was good for us.
We now bring on Zach Selby to discuss the upcoming Big Ten tournament. Zach, Maryland, they've got Wisconsin in their first game, the 8-9 matchup. What's the outlook for them in that?
Well, they got to stop Ethan Happ. That's the first thing they have to do. He's pretty much runs their team, and if they can do that, they're going to have a good chance. But the main thing for Maryland is they're going to have to learn how to close games on the road. Even though the Big Ten tournament is a neutral site, Maryland's still 2-8 on the road. That's going to be a big concern for them. So they have to learn how to close those games, play well, and if they do that, they should have a strong run in the tournament.
And Zach, obviously Maryland on the outside looking in right now. They would need a big run in the Big Ten tournament to make the NCAA tournament. What would it take for them to pull that off?
Well, they're going to have to win. I mean, it's plain and simple, and that involves beating Michigan State next week after they, potentially beat Wisconsin. Then they're either going to have to play Ohio State or Purdue, the 2 and the 3 seeds in the conference. If they do that, that should be enough to make up for the other losses they had earlier in the season and get somewhat of a resume going into the tournament.
And how about when you look at the team, maybe one player that could be the difference maker for them in the tournament?
Well, it's got to be Anthony Cowan. I mean, he's played the most minutes all year, and whenever he plays good, the rest of the team plays good. Kevin Herter, he's their big other guy in the duo. If they can both be playing well, then the offense should be doing good, and they can be one of these upset teams in the tournament.
Well, we'll certainly see what happens in the Big Ten tournament and going forward. But for now, for Zach Selby, I'm Alex Flum at the Xfinity Center. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Alex. The 8th-seeded Terps will take on number 9 Wisconsin this Thursday at noon. The winner of that game will face Big Ten regular season champion Michigan State at noon on Friday. And with the conclusion of the regular season, a few Terps earned all Big Ten honors. Anthony Cowan Jr. was named third team All Big Ten and to the Big Ten All Defensive Team. Kevin Herter was an All Big Ten honorable mention, and Bruno Fernando was named to the Big Ten All Freshman Team.
Sunday was senior day for the women's basketball team. Coming off 3 straight losses with Nebraska in town, the Terps were hoping to get back in the win column on Sunday. Coach Brenda Fries with her 2 standout seniors being honored before the game. How about Bree Frazier early on storms the lane and puts it up and in for the and one. But she wasn't done yet. Frazier pulls down the strong board and flexes on these Huskers with another 3-point play. High pressure from the Terps, the steal from senior Kristen Confroy. She dishes it to Eliana Kristanaki on the fast break. K. Anya, that's Greek for and one. Redshirt senior Aisha Small runs Nebraska through the spin cycle and teardrops it in. But the visitors take the lead with under a minute to go. Other end now, Stephanie Jones with the huge block to deny Nebraska. She'd go to the line and hit both to regain the lead for Maryland. Last chance for the Cornhuskers. Lockdown defense from the Terps forces a rush shot from Nebraska, no good. Confroy grabs the rebound senior to senior as Aisha Small launches the ball high into the Raptors. Maryland hangs on 77-75.
Our energy as a team was sensational. I thought we got back to, really playing overall Maryland basketball. When you talk about, being aggressive, defending, rebounding, getting out in transition.
It was an incredible way to go out, a little closer than I'd like, but I'm just so proud of this team and how we came together to pull out a tough win.
An exciting win for Confroy and the Terps, and it's the senior leadership that's been instrumental. Noah Gross has more on this.
Senior day for the Maryland women's basketball team.
Right for Aisha and Kristen!
And Aisha Small and Kristen Confroy had quite the day.
You could feel the energy and the effort in our team, and I felt it was an incredible way to go out, a little closer than I'd like, but I'm just so proud of this team and how we came together to pull out a tough win.
Over their years in College Park, winning has remained constant.
I know in my time, obviously this is the most Big Ten losses, but even we're still, at the top of the Big Ten, and supposedly it's a down year for us. And I think that's a testament to the culture and the tradition that has been built here.
For Aisha Small, it's bigger than basketball.
They're just great people, and I know once it's my time to go, and I know I can still pick up the phone and call somebody and be like, hey, how you doing? I know, I don't look at them as friends anymore. My teammates, they're like my sisters, staff, I call them family now, and just the whole process of being here has just been amazing.
And senior day isn't just special for the players.
I told Aisha I wish I would have been able to have 4 years with her, but to be able to see in her time just her mentality, put your head down and go to work even in tough times, and continues to keep growing before our very eyes. Kristen, to see her growth in 4 years from the shy player coming in, no eye contact, kind of not comfortable in her own skin, and to see that growth of 6 Big Ten titles, the Final Four, med school. They're both ready to tackle what's next. We want it to be a long time before what's next, but they're both really, ready for whatever lies ahead from the work that they've put in.
Kristen and Aisha both have one thing on their mind.
Once again, it's not over.
It's been an incredible ride, and as you said, we're not done yet.
For the Left Bench TV, I'm Noah Gross.
And after pulling out that win, next up is the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis, where Maryland will be the number 2 seed. They'll face the winner of the 7-10 game between Indiana and Michigan State Friday evening at 6:30. And just coming in Monday evening, 4 Terps earned all Big Ten honors. Kyla Charles was named first team All Big Ten. Aisha Small was named the 6th player of the year. Kristen Confroy and Eliana Kristanaki were all Big Ten honorable mentions.
And for a closer look at the women's basketball team's postseason chances, we sent things over to Zach Solon, sitting down with women's basketball reporter Sean Mahoney.
Thanks, Rachel. Sean, the Maryland women's basketball team had an uncharacteristic 3-game skid last week, but they picked back up yesterday with a nice win against Nebraska. What changed for them?
I mean, it was huge for their momentum going into Big Ten tournament to get that win. And one of the things that they changed over their 3-game losing skid in the Nebraska game was their 3-point shooting. They have shooters like Kristen Confroy, who's top 3 in the nation in 3-point field goal percentage, not making a single shot against Michigan. And then meanwhile, the Nebraska game, 8 threes, one of their highest marks in 3-pointers since February.
And now Big Ten tournament coming up this week. Terps locked up the 2 seed. How big is that for them?
Huge. It gives them more time to rest, more time to regroup from their losing skids, see what they did wrong, watch over the tape, and focus on the opponents that they're going to have to play, because in Big Ten tournament, it's games on back-to-back days, so they're going to need as much rest as they can to play well in the tournament.
Kyla Charles, Sean, 18 points a game, just named to the All-Big Ten team. How important has she been for the Terps?
Well, she has been B-A-L-L-I-N, ballin' for the Terps. Not only on the offensive end, where, like you said, she averages almost 18 points a game, but on the defensive end, she leads the team in rebounds and in blocks. Really a two-way player that the Terps needed, and she's a switch two guard, so she can guard guards and forwards. She's an all-around player for Maryland, and look to see her in tournament play.
All right, thanks, Sean. Be sure to keep up with Sean Mahoney's coverage as Maryland women's basketball heads into the Big Ten tournament. Rachel and Brendan, back to you.
Thanks, guys. The Maryland baseball team opened the season with a series win against Tennessee and came back to College Park this past weekend to open their 2018 home slate against the Army Black Knights in a 3-game series. The Terps dropped the first 2 games against Army 4-3 and 3-0, but Game 3 was a different story. Black Knights had it rolling early. A.J. Lee can't snag the liner and Marty Costas misplays it. Terps in a hole, but they would not go quietly. Here in the third, Nick Dunn ropes it down the right field line. He motors into second with an RBI double, and that hit must have awoken the Maryland offense. As Kevin Biondic tees off to dead center, Black Knights can't handle it, and look at the senior infielder go. He becomes a blur and heads into third with a triple, later scoring on this Justin Morris ground out. And the highlight of the day, Randy Bednar, he says bye-bye baseball for his first career home run. Terps salvage the final game of the series 6-3.
Well, Sunday's win was certainly exciting for Terps baseball, but a week before, the team and one player in particular experienced a special moment. Junior pitcher Billy Phillips was diagnosed with leukemia in 2015. After 3 years of fighting, he beat leukemia. And in a game against Tennessee this month, Phillips took it a step further, making his return to the baseball diamond. Here's Maryland Baseball Network's Justin Galanti with the call.
He's ready again. And the 0-2. Called strike 3, and Billy Phillips, a fist bump. He has his first strikeout as a Terp. Tennessee has left 4. The 1-2. Grounded sharply to second. Dunn fields to short 1. Lead a first. Double play. And Billy Phillips in his first inning as a Terp has a scoreless frame. How about that? They give him the baseball, and the entire team comes out of the dugout to give Phillips congratulations. What a moment here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
You can see just how much that means to Phillips and his teammates. A great moment for him and a great call from Justin. Thank you for that.
What an incredible comeback story for Phillips. She's donned a Terps uniform for her entire college career. This past summer, one member of the Maryland softball team took her talents to the international stage. Dylan DeAndrea has the story.
From the Aloha State,
I wanted to go somewhere different. I'm from Hawaii, so lived on the rock my whole life.
To College Park.
I pretty much loved it as soon as I stepped on campus, so just coming here was a blessing in disguise for me.
3 coaches and 3 seasons later, Skyland Elazar is still making a difference for Maryland softball.
She's the kind of kid that when you watch in the field, or when anyone watches her, you just want to play with. She brings that out in her teammates. She celebrates all the wonderful successes of our game.
It hasn't been an easy 3 years for Terps softball, but last season still produced a great moment. Elazar's favorite. An early season win over then #1 Florida in Gainesville.
There was no expectation for us, and for us to come out and do that, I think was one of the most talked about topic for, I would say, a couple weeks.
And this past summer, Elazar represented the Philippines national team at the World Cup in July.
Just seeing where the girls are from, the field they play on, just made me appreciate everything that I get to do here in the U.S.
With her final season on deck, Elazar is ready for one last hurrah, and has words of advice for her teammates.
Have fun, enjoy it, don't take anything for granted, and every time you step on the field, it's like your last, so do all that you can.
For the Left Bench TV, I'm Dylan DeAndrea.
Her Terp career may be nearing its end, but Elazar will represent Indonesia in the Asian Games next summer.
Before this past weekend, the last time the Maryland women's lacrosse team had lost, Barack Obama was president, One Dance by Drake was the Billboard #1 song, and I was still in high school. Maryland fell to North Carolina 16-15 in overtime on Saturday, snapping a 25-game winning streak. Here's what Kathy Reese had to say after the loss.
It was competitive the whole way. It was a hard-fought game. It's the typical Maryland-Carolina matchup. And, you just didn't end up, going into overtime, ending in our favor.
The men's lacrosse team is, well, unbeatable, winning their 4th straight game of the season. The Terps took on number 14 Penn Wednesday at Capital One Field. It started here with the freshman, Bubba Fairman, dodging the defender, swinging over to his left and scoring for the Terps. This was just the beginning of the Terps' 5-0 lead in the first quarter of the half. Later in the half, it's Bernhardt to Logan Wisnauskas, slamming this one into the back of the net, giving the Terps a 6-2 advantage. Terps being aggressive, it wasn't the last you heard from the pair. Jared Bernhardt gives it to Wisnauskas again for the goal, and Wisnauskas just wasn't done yet. The freshman makes it look easy, finding a way in the back of the net. What a day for him, ending the day with 5 goals for the Terps. Maryland beat Penn 13-6.
I think it was really important to come out today and especially against a good team like Penn. We really wanted to make a statement and go back to what we do. Coach preached all week was fundamentals, and that's what we got away from Saturday.
We didn't think that the product we put on the field against High Point was who we are, even close to what our best effort would be. And we just wanted to stress over the last 3 days of work, just kind of getting back to who we are.
Rachel, a tough week for a lot of Maryland sports teams.
There were some impressive plays, though, that did come out of the week.
That's true. And with that, we'll take a look at our top 5 plays of the week. Kick things off with number 5, Kristen Confroy, the steal up to Eliana Kristinaki, and she was fired up.
Wrestling at 4, 2 wins and a doubleheader for Alfred Baby J. Bannister, picking up a decision victory against Ryder. And then a pin against Ohio, continuing to be a beast in the 149 weight class for the Terps.
To Shipley Field for number 3, Randy Bednar goes yard, the first career home run for the freshman.
And back to the hardwood for number 2, Aisha Small, spinning and winning. Terps winning their game too.
And coming in at the top spot, the redshirt freshman, midfielder Logan Wisnauskas. He scored 5 goals against Penn this week, 4 of those coming in the first half of a 13-6 win.
Seniors Aisha Small and Kristen Confroy are our co-Terps of the week. The duo helped Maryland snap a 3-game losing streak Sunday and are key pieces for a Maryland team trying to make a deep run in March.
Legendary Maryland basketball coach Lefty Driesell has been named a finalist for the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. In his 41 seasons as a head coach, Driesell amassed a remarkable 786 wins. He was the coach in College Park from 1969 to 1986 and was instrumental in turning Maryland into a consistent ACC contender. Coach Driesell is also credited with the idea for the nation's first Midnight Madness, a tradition that's still celebrated today. Congrats, Lefty. The honor is long overdue.
To close out the show, we welcome back Juan Herrera to bring us one final thought. Take it away, Juan.
With the MLS season set to start in less than a week, DC United has decided to re-sign former Maryland soccer star defender Chris Adui-Atsum. Adui-Atsum will be reinforcing DC United's backline this year as the team looks to improve from last season's struggles. With the brand new Audi Field set to open this summer, Maryland fans won't have to travel far to see a Terp in the MLS.
Thanks, Juan. And 2 other Terps on that DC United team, Patrick Mullins and Taylor Kemp. So a strong Maryland core as they enter the new season.
Right, definitely great to see that.
So that's our show for today. I'm Brendan Hartlove. Make sure to keep up with all our daily content on Facebook and Twitter at The Left Bench, as well as on theleftbench.com.
And we'll be back with another show in just a couple weeks for our entire Left Bench TV crew here in College Park. I'm Rachel Hirschheimer. Thanks for watching.